Assalamu alaikum.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله. Oh,
Can you hear me?
well, what happened? What happened? What happened? What happened? Do you see my screen?
I cannot hear you. Can you hear me?
What happened? Sharing is not turned on. I'm not.
You're muted. Dr. Ali, you're muted.
Dr. Ali lost co-host status. That's why he can't share.
You are muted, Dr. Ali. I cannot hear you. Can you unmute yourself? Okay.
He can't unmute. He can unmute now.
Oh, 1 second. Why?
Yeah, alhamdulillah. Now,
Okay. I think
okay.
you're unmuted now,
There
but
was
your
a
voice is not
technical
coming.
problem.
Is it
Here
from
it
my
is.
side?
All right.
It seems that Dr. Najati can't hear you, but we can. So you might need to check his audio.
Nurbano, is it me?
Yeah, you're not
Having
able
a
to hear him, but we can
problem?
hear him.
Let's see. What is this? Co-host, Najati, co-host, yeah.
Oh, okay. So it is Dr. Ali, I think you should let's try disconnect and reconnect again.
Me?
Yeah, disconnect and reconnect, maybe inshallah it work.
Me or everyone? Host.
No, we cannot hear you. I think it's from your side. Just
Dr. Najati, can you hear me?
disconnect from Zoom and rejoin.
Okay, but I can do that. How can I do that?
Oh, can you hear me then? I see. I think it's my side. 1 second.
Open. All right. All right. And no.
Dr. Ali, can you hear me now?
Well,
Okay, I think it's perfect.
Yeah, I think the problem is over quickly. We
Okay,
9 minutes.
good. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin wa salatu wa salam ala sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala ali kulli wa sahbi kulli ajma'in. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Sorry for this little technical issue. So inshallah, we're going to start another session of Quranic journey. Okay. Can you hear me? Do everyone?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Okay. I think that's fine. Because I'm seeing some message in the chat. That's why I was concerned. Okay, perfect. So inshallah, we're gonna have another very important Quranic journey today. And if you recall that we are still discussing Quran as a book of wisdom. So as a book of wisdom, Quran speaks of the universe, speaks of creation, and drive the lessons from the creation for us. But meanwhile, science claimed to read the creation as well. And last week, we essentially reflect on that to provide the difference between, in this regard, science and the Quranic perspective of looking at the creation. And my main point was that from Quranic perspective, when you look at the creation, you just don't see the matter, you see the meaning has a layer of existence. And in this case, like a book, when you study a book, you don't just study the ink and paper, look at the design and shape and color. You look at the meaning, what make the book to be a book, and what make the reading of a book is to drive or understand the meaning and code it in a book. So in this regard that we says, essentially the universe through its order, beauty, artistry, wisdom, shows another layer of existence beside the material one. And materialists cannot prove that order, beauty comes from the matter itself. And a believer argue that when they observe this layer of existence in the creation on the matter, and they say the source must be absolute and must be different than the universe and must be beyond the universe. So that is the conclusion of the believer, and we mentioned, but we said there are, when we are trying to, in this case, understand the creator, so we need to understand our limitation if the creator is absolute, so we cannot know the creator in terms of his essence, his thought. We can only conclude with absolute certainty there must be creator, because the creation clearly reflect the quality, the attribute of the creator, that who is not a kind with the creation. That is our conclusion, and that has been in a way our reasoning in last 2 weeks, and we're going to continue on this ground this week to even further understand those modern materialist, naturalist, positivist arguments that injected very much into scientific discourse, into physics, chemistry, biology, into the mind and heart of everyone, including believers, to identify this ideology and try to reject and negate through the reason and through the evidence is very essential. And we thank Allah that give us such opportunity that we can reflect on Quran and find guidance from the Quran to understand the tricks of this secular ideology. So let's start, inshallah. Dr. Ali.
No, we have to be very careful about the language. That's why when we say the universe must have a creator, and they say, okay, show it. That this is called a burden of proof. Who's going to prove what? So I cannot show now. Okay, I cannot show the author of the book inside the book, but I conclude that this book must have a conscious author who has knowledge. Now, that's how I describe it. You cannot ask me, show the author in the book. That is simple, but explains everything. Now, I have the right to ask the person who says The book is existing by itself, evolving by itself, producing the knowledge by itself. I have to write to ask this person, show me the quality of knowledge in the paper, in the ink, which will produce the author. Now, because this tricky language, they use a lot, and the people who are not exercised their reasoning well, they are confused and they think that the materialistic, secularist interpretation of the findings, how the universe is working, explains the reality. No, it describes what is going on. It doesn't explain how it is happening there, who is making it, what is the agent behind it. They cannot show it. And they know that, but they don't say it. It's a matter of using tricky language. Now, I think we came to this point, indicative meaning. Now, indicative meaning, when you're reading the indicative meaning of every being, what does reading the indicative meaning mean? It is like the reading the traffic light, indicating that I should stop when it is red. No, indicating that. But this is red, but what does it tell you? Indicative meaning means when I eat a fruit, reading its existence, beauty, it means I am experiencing its existence. It exists. It is beautiful. I know it has some qualities, taste, shape, etc., indicating that it is given existence by a one who creates shapes, beautifies with taste and nourishment. Now, the believer is not making the same type of claim. The believer is reading indicative meaning, observing that the qualities present in physical events cannot find their sufficient source within the material components of those events. Now, the material components of the fruit, whatever it is, let's say apricot, so material components of the fruit does not have the quality to produce, to give existence to itself, to produce its beauty. It is for example, symmetrical beauty. No, everything is symmetrical in the universe. The Quran keeps saying that everything is created in pair. Everything is created in pair in every level, in each being. My hands, pair. If you cut me in the middle, you will see that my face is paired. My ears, my eyes are paired. My teeth, back side is different, front side is different, up corresponds to each other. This need is a very, very extremely precise knowledge, power, and quality to measure, and wisdom. No, these are sharp. The others are not sharp at all. You cannot cut this teeth. Why? Who's arranged it? They say accidentally, but top part is the same. For example, men is here, women is here. They say that they evolved. Men evolved individually, women evolved individually, but in order to reproduce a baby, they 100% fit each other, but they evolved individually. Is there any quality within the material components of the body of human beings to know that women should be like this, so I have to develop in this way in order to reproduce. Otherwise, we cannot survive. Look at this. Even the most genius biologist or chemist cannot really know it. Now, I was studying about the life of spiders, Dr. Nejati. You know, I'll ask you a question. If there was no spider, do you think the thing, life will continue as it is, and it doesn't matter really, spiders are insignificant? Do you think? Well, no.
They help us maybe eating some mosquito.
Yeah. Okay, but if there were no spider created, do you think everything will be the same again? Almost.
That's what I will think.
Seems to be, yeah.
Yeah.
Ask AI. Ask. If there was no spider, there will be no life on Earth. Ask. And I asked him how this theorists, the materialist interpretation that spider developed itself, you can see the story that even 3 years old child can't believe. It did this, it did that. I mean, I cannot go into it, but even it's a mythology, legend, made up story. But the spiders' cells learned that they can. How did I asked them? How the spider learned to produce its silk? Everybody knows that the silk of the spider is 5 times more powerful, stronger than steel silk. And also it is sticky. Still, no, it happened accidentally, Dr. Nejati, as a result of random choices. And I asked again how the spider learned to make its web. Oh, that the cell realized that the silk has a quality of catching. You just, I don't know whether we should cry. How crazy the human mind is used in the crazy way, or we should laugh at them. But a made up story, which show me this quality is coming from matter, originating from matter. No, they say we observe this. Excuse me, this is what is created. You observe what is created and taking the picture of it and showing it to me and saying that I explained how it is working. This is description. This is not explanation. We swallow this language. Description is different. It has nothing to do with explanation of the origin of existence, of any action, not origin of universe, including, but anything happening in this world. So, for example, saying that apricot is sweet, doesn't explain how the taste of sweetness came into existence. What is the origin of existence of sweetness? The matter, can matter produce this? Anyway, do they have any quality? The believer says, I see the indicative meaning. So I am reading the indicative meaning as I am reading looking at the traffic light. It says red. I say it means I should stop. Look, indicates this. So this is an example. This is an example. So I will go reading again. The believer is not making the same type of claim. The believer is reading indicative meaning, observing what the quality is present in physical events, cannot find their sufficient source within the material components of those events, and concluding that the source is transcendent to the universe itself, not only the objective self, the thing that I am studying, to the universe itself. Now, it means apricot exists within the conditions or the composition of the tree. Tree exists within the composition of the atmosphere. And all of them, solar system, the universe. You cannot isolate one thing from the rest of the universe. You cannot think that this is the pen, I will study it. Forget about the atmosphere, forget about the background, forget about the other elements there. You cannot have this pen independently existing by itself without being in connection with the rest of the universe. Especially living beings are best example of this. That's why Qur'an gives examples from fruits and living beings more. So after starting searching what is this spiders are, and they say there are 53,000 different species of spiders, and still they are recovering new ones. And the projection of these people, zoologists, say another 50,000 is possible. And each spider species has its own lifestyle, has its own defense system, has its own web design. Everyone is different from others and perfectly fitting to the whole life of the earth, and saving the plants to disappear because of the insects that they want to eat them. And spiders are an enormous number. How many millions of tons of insects that the spiders are eating? So I said, okay, why the Prophet ﷺ named one of the surah Ankabut spider surah. Now it is on honeybees, for example, ants, for example. We must study them. We must study them. Miracles of creation are used in the Quran to name its chapters. Not chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, spider chapter, ant chapter, moon chapter, honeybees chapter, cow chapter, what else? Human chapter. It's important. Women chapter. Now, unfortunately, that's a joke, of course. There is no men chapter. No, Rajul. But human chapter, yes. Humans chapter as well. Important. These are important. How the Quran is really integrated between its message, verbal message, and physical message in the creation. Integrated. You cannot really separately study them at all. Okay. The believer is not making the same side of claim. The believer is reading the indicative meaning, observing that the qualities present in physical events cannot find their sufficient source within the material components of those events, and concluding that the source is or must be transcendent to the universe itself. Sorry, but this is wrong. Must be logical conclusion. Now, is physical observation, must be. When it comes to pointing to the transcendent being, absolute being, source of existence, we have to use must be. It is reason and logical conclusion. When I say is, I have to say, for example, I have a book which is written by Dr. Nejati. These languages are extremely important. The materialists are really blaming or criticizing belief perspective because the believers use wrong language. Look, if I have a book written by Dr. Nejati, I say this book is written by this gentleman, Dr. Nejati. So, Dr. Nejati is the author of the book. Look, be careful with the language. Dr. Nejati is the author of this book. When I look at the apricot, I cannot say this is the creator of the apricot, because the creator of apricot is completely on a completely different order of existence. Nothing to do with the reality, nature of this universe. Completely different. So, if you are not there, I don't see you next to the book. I have to use this language. This book must have been created by a conscious being. And this conscious being is called Dr. Nejati, I don't know. He's not here. He is transcendent. The universe must be created by a transcendent being, not is created. But unfortunately, we imitate the language of the Qur'an. For example, you are Dr. Nejati and wrote a book, and you say, I am the author of this book. But when you are not there, and I don't know you in the same level of existence, in the same order of existence, I say this book must have a author who has knowledge and must exist. I don't know whether he's a male or female, but must have one who has knowledge. That's why this source must be transcendent to the universe itself. This is not fundamentally different from any other act of reading, the reading meaning that points beyond its immediate medium. So it is something beyond the existence of the matter itself, the universe itself. This is how the indicative meaning is to be read. Now, I will read it quickly, this one.
Can I make some comment on the previous one to make it clear, inshallah?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think there are 2 points there essentially. One is that we point to the indicative meaning. Basically means that when you look at some things, you don't look at its physical, material component. You try to understand the meaning given through that things. Like the example of traffic light. If you study traffic light in terms of its composition, shape, color, that's not the indicative meaning. But if you look at traffic light in terms of what it means, red means stops, green means go, that's the indicative meaning, which means that we Quran invite us to look at the creation and to read through the indicative meaning. What the creation, what does the creation indicate? So the way to read that, then to essentially see the qualities that is manifested in the material being. So when we look at the creation, essentially we see there is constant new creation in the form of qualities. So the basic particles, they're changing as well, but that at least appear to us to be constants, like atoms. We can say atom is like a grain of sand, but those grain of sands, like atoms, come together, a new quality emerge. Two hydrogen, one oxygen come together, the quality of water emerge. Water comes together with, let's say, the carbon and other elements, then the quality of plant body and human body emerge. So in this case, that what we are observing, essentially, we are observing constant exhibition of different qualities on the matters, and these qualities are new creation, are not from the matter itself. Because when we reflect on the quality of, let's say, an apple, and we see though apples comes from some elements in soil and water, but the quality of apple in terms of color, in terms of taste, in terms of symmetry, in terms of the knowledge that it's inside the DNA of that has absolutely nothing to do with the matter, cannot be explained with the matter. This quality that we observe in the creation point to the source beyond the physical realm and tell us that there must be an absolute being who manifests through this quality in the matter. So that is our conclusion as a believer. And in this regard, what I look at it, I say, perhaps the most important thing is to really recognize these qualities. Because when we are materialists, we think as if everything is just a matter. So to me, is that like when I go to, let's say, a historical site, let's say a Suleymaniye Mosque, from the architects of Mimar Sinan, to me, what really is all about there is a rocks there is paint there, but there is an art there is a design there is a message there's a meaning there's a symmetry there's a purpose there, and none of those can be explained with the material component. So to me, when anyone enters such beautiful mosque, what they are truly amazed with is the quality that manifested in the material on this material component. Similarly, in the universe, everything lies such artwork in which that we constantly observe the new qualities being manifested, and we're asking, what is the source? And we check this material component, it cannot be the source. And therefore, we conclude through the reasoning there must be source beyond the matter and beyond the universe that basically manifests in this creation. That's my understanding in terms of looking at and seeing the qualities.
No, I think I should just read it. Thank you. I should just read this, and our friends will just carefully follow the language. We don't have to explain it because it is becoming repetitive. Now, because the burden of proof lies on the materialist, he has no right to demand that the believer locate the transcendent source of the universe inside the universe. Now, you cannot ask us, show God creating it, making it. It is logically inconsistent and contradictory. The indicative meaning showed that there must be a transcendent being And transcendent being has another order of existence, completely different from the nature of universe, like the author and the book, like the building and the architect. Completely different order of existence, completely different from each other. So, in fact, that demand misunderstands what the believer is claiming in the first place. This is what, how do you say, politically correct language. Now, but not misunderstands, doesn't want to understand. I don't want to explain the universe by in a way that it demonstrates there is a creator. That is preconditioned. That is just really biased. Now, I want to explain everything within the universe. See, and read all the philosophers, materialist philosophers. See, when it comes to the point that they cannot explain, they say it goes into theology. And we are scientists, we are not theologists. You know why? There is no answer. That's called escape. Here, they have no answer. Now, the believer is precisely saying the source is not inside the universe, inside the material elements of this universe. Demanding physical proof of a transcendent being in the universe is like demanding that an author exists physically inside their book to prove their existence. I say this book is written by Dr. Najati, and materialist mind says, show me Najati writing it. Where? In the book. Exactly the same mentality, same model of thinking. Crazy. Because they don't want to read indicative meaning. Now, equally, the materialist has no right to demand that the qualities the believer reads in creation be shown to exist as material properties of the thing itself, as if I'm saying a material property, the paper or ink. Dr. Najati is a piece of paper somewhere there in the book. Crazy, totally illogical. The entire point is that these qualities, order, meaning, information, intentionality, cannot be originating from the mindless matter. Completely different quality of existence. Human consciousness cannot be at the same order of existence with brain meat. For example, program of the computer cannot be at the same order of existence with the material parts of the computer machine. Program is knowledge. Material part is matter. We have to be careful. The materialist must explain everything from within the universe using concepts that are themselves philosophically unexplained. No one explained what nature is. No one explained what choosing quality is. No one explained the source of existence of beauty is. No one explained the source of existence of symmetry is. Form. How did the forms get? Why cell goes here, grows and stops here, makes the shape? And why the nail comes out of the same cell structure and changes itself when it comes to the end of my finger and becomes a bone. The other one is skin. The other one is meat. The other one is vein. The other one is nerve. And this system completely enormous. The nerve in the human is so long that from here to the moon, if you put the nerves all together, and they perfectly match my existence. And Dr. Najati, it happened to be at the end of natural desires, etc., and they randomly tried, and found the best way by itself. Even the conscious being, without GPS nowadays, cannot find which way it should go. Conscious human beings, they have to learn, they have to study, use the map. When I was young, we used to use map. So now GPS, even conscious human beings and unconscious blind matter is doing all this as a result of natural disasters and changing positions accidentally and find the best way. And they say, it fits now. So it goes, hits this house, hits this corner, and then when it comes into the center of the street, it goes, this is the best for me. Even human beings, find this through training and learning ability. Does matter have a learning ability? Not learning, matter. Learning is a completely different order of existence. So this is also they know that. They know some honest materialists, not honest like David Hume, like Feynman. They know that they are materialists. They say we don't believe in God, but we have to be honest. We don't know. We don't know. But we have to be honest. We have to study. That's it. We talked about it. Okay. And they fail to do so. They have no answer, but we have to know how to ask the question. On the other hand, the believer reads the same reality as pointing beyond itself to a transcendent source and is under no obligation to produce that source as a physical object inside the universe. This is like expecting the architect or a mason of the building to be present inside the building walls itself. So show me the architect. I say this house is designed by a conscious architect, knows that a human being is going to work in it, to live in it. He says, no, I don't believe. Why? Show me the architect inside the house. What a house is material, architect is a human being. That's called a completely different order of existence. Okay, we have to go faster. I have to go. Inherent structure versus indicative meaning from a source. Now, the human experience of meaning and reading the indicative meaning of existence is extremely important for human beings to have a meaningful life. Obviously, reading the meaningful universe, which is perfectly rational. We are reading. What does it mean? So, a transcendent source of existence is a serious conclusion which is driven from the reading. The indicative meaning of existence cannot be dismissed on purely claiming that these meanings are not empirically proven. Meaning cannot be empirically, physically proven. You conscious beings can understand this. That is reason. That is rational conclusion. Now, inherent structure is not self-explanatory. What does it mean? Inherent in it. What does it mean? Where did it get it? For example, human beings like beauty. Why? It is inherent in it. Did I make it? Did my cells produce love of beauty? It's crazy. Okay, when the materialist says matter behaves according to its own inherent structure, they are using inherent as if it were a transparent, neutral term which can be observable. It is not. No one can observe the real existence of inherent qualities. After it becomes open, the result, I understand, there must be something behind, but it is from the matter? No, it is created in this way. So I am just taking the picture of what is created. I am not showing what inherent quality in matter is. No one can show it. No one can show life in the cell. But after cell works this way or this way, created in this way, I say, this is alive. That is my naming it. I'm not describing what life is, because the life cannot be describable within the conditions of matter. It is a completely different order of existence, completely different. But we know that life exists, but we don't know the source of life. Where did it come from? Not within the universe, we don't know. But since it exists, we say it must be created by a one which is not a part of this material element of the cell. But the materialists know it, don't say it. Don't say it. It is not observable there. Inherent means built-in quality. We have to be careful. We have to be serious. All our friends are intelligent people. We cannot say that I believe in God. And no, the challenging of the materialist misinterpretation is invading the brains of new generation. So we have to be very serious, seriously thinking people. The Qur'an says, think, think, think. Because he created us with the ability to reason, with the ability to think, we have to use it. We cannot use simple language, saying that the universe must be created by God. It is very simple, it is challenged. And the materialist people laugh at it. And they say, you cannot convince people. I can convince it with my tricky language. They use tricky language. So inherent means built-in quality belonging to it necessarily, not driven from outside. So it is like claiming that a piece of marble has in itself inherent quality to produce the art of sculpture by itself. So, sorry, they have to show the inherent quality of becoming another matter and becoming a sculpture. Sculpture is an art. Matter has no quality to produce art. What are they talking? Well, I'm really angry, but we have to understand this. We need to understand. We need to be careful. We need to be serious about belief matters, very serious. In fact, they are describing what already exists. They are not explaining how come it exists. I think this is very important. We have to be careful. They are describing, right, They are describing what already exists. They are not explaining how come it exists, like describing how a telephone works and then claiming that this explains how it existed. No, without referring it, by studying the telephone and reading the indicative meaning, do you see existed here? Yeah. Without reading the indicative meaning, you cannot know. But when you read the indicative meaning in the existence of a telephone, you definitely conclude that it is made by a conscious being, knowledgeable being, with the ability of engineering. That's what we have to understand. So, look, but no one has observed inherence as such. No materialist science. They know it, they say. We cannot observe inherence. In the marble or iron, whatever, the material, that it has an inherent quality to become a meaningful piece of art. No one. It's impossible. So the claim that structure belongs to matter necessarily and from itself is a substantial metaphysical assertion. It means they have false belief. Not those people who believe in God have false belief, blind belief. Their belief in the inherent quality in the matter is a blind belief with no proof, because they don't believe in indicative meaning. If they accept indicative meaning, they will definitely understand that the universe is indicating to the necessary existence of its creator. Now, based on no proof of its existence, it means based on no proof of the existence of inherent quality in the being. They claim that there must be something there, where in the matter. Then the believer says, no. There must be something there, because you cannot, if it was in the matter, you should show me these qualities. So it indicates that other than itself, something else created it, and this something else must be the creator of the universe. Now, I know it is very heavy, but we have to learn how to think seriously. Belief matters are not simple saying that I believe in God. No, this age, 21st age, the century age, cannot accept this claim, and they will deny it. And they will believe in scientific interpretations as they interpret and say that we explained it. No, they interpret with a biased mind, claiming that inherence exists within matter itself. No one can show consciousness, no one can show knowledge, no one can show will within the matter. No, these are completely different order of existence. Why does matter have this structure rather than another, or none at all? These are not answered. These, you know what? These questions the materialist, honest scientists are saying. It's not my sentence. Materialist, but honest, saying that we don't know. Why does this question? This question is asked and said by an atheist materialist. Why doesn't he believe? He says, I am a scientist, I don't deal with theology. That's the answer. Why does matter have this structure rather than another or none at all? Why? They say we don't know. Inherent smuggles in a kind of self-sufficiency for matter that is assumed, not demonstrated. Assumed, not demonstrated. And assumed is correct. For example, now, I found that somebody took my properties from the house away. I assume that there must be a thief, broke into my house, correct? Now, but you cannot ask me, show me the thief taking your property away, right? Look, this is a very simple thing. For example, Dr. Nejati, God forbid, somebody came, broke into your house while you are there, took the things away, and the police came to you. Police came, that you called the police came and writing the report saying that you say somebody has entered my house. Police says, show me. Show me. I said, what do you mean show me? My property is gone. There, look at the language. There must be some factor who took my property away. And this one has broken my key. It must be a knowledgeable person, conscious person, knows what he is doing, knows how to enter and break into a house. No, there must be, so from our human experience, a human being. But when we talk about the universe, it will say the creator of the universe. So they don't say, materialist, obstinate ones don't say we assume. They say there is scientifically proved. And honest materialist scientists say they assume. But non-materialist scientists say the creator of the universe has been creating the universe in this way. Now, the word inherent is doing enormous philosophical work that is rarely examined. Inherent. No one talks, show me inherent in matter, because you are saying it is in matter. Show me. Scientists use it as taken for granted truth with no evidence. Language trick swallows billions of people, this language trick. Billions of people swallow this trick, shifting the language without really clearly explain what they mean. So reading the indicative meaning is the most significant necessity of human consciousness. Human life is based on this. We have to use what Allah has given us. Reasoning. We always ask about whatever we see, hear, experience. What does it mean? What does it indicate to me? Now, we have to ask this question. What does anything we do in this world, we see in this world, what does it indicate to me? What does it tell me? So I have to go faster. It is done. Wow.
Okay, so let me.
Next week there will be another
example.
demonstration and presented by our co-host Nurbano. Yeah.
Yes,
So,
yes,
okay.
and also one example you're gonna, I think, give it next week, inshallah, to make it even better, inshallah, to clear. So I think there are 2-3 very important points if we kind of summarize. So So first we talk about the indicative meaning and saying it's very meaningful for us as a human being to really wonder about the meaning of anything that happen. Like when you get in an envelope, you don't look at the paper, you look at what does it mean, what is inside, what is the message. So in this regard, that we in terms of human being with our fitra, we look at the meaning of everything way more than anything else. And I I remember from Nietzsche, he says famously, he says, human endure anything as long as it's meaningful. Even when you have a pain, if you find the meaning, you are fine with the pain. But it says if you don't find the meaning, that's the real pain for you. The real pain is the meaninglessness. So I think in this regard,
Who says this?
Nietzsche.
Yeah.
Nietzsche
Sartre
says.
says the same thing. Camus says the same thing.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
these are the latest philosophers, but not latest. Nietzsche is old one. But as you said, they know it.
Uh, uh, uh. Yeah, but again, I think it's the key part here. For some reason, they make a choice not to really believe in it, and then they look for excuse to just feel good, because it's the whole point here that when you look at the creation, you see there are certain qualities, and you cannot attribute the quality to the matter. And you wonder what is the source, and that's the believer's position. In this regard, the secular scientists come with the concept and say it's inherent quality. The concept of inherent, that I think we emphasize a lot, requires a proof that if you claim it is the inherent nature of seed to become a tree, you need to prove it to me. What is inside that molecules that can actually make the tree? And in this case, if you cannot prove it, that is a false claim. You're just describing when the seed is converted to the tree or the tree is converted to the fruit, but you're not really explaining how the tree comes out of the seed and how the fruit come out of the tree. So that's part, we argue, that in this regard, when you reflect on that, it tells you this indicate there must be source and who must be absolute, that who knows that fruit and its connection with the whole universe and create this fruit and attach to this tree. So that is our conclusion from our observation and reasoning. So in this regard, we say, particularly in modern education, that this inherent quality, built-in property, emergent property, those are a tricky concept injected in the study of the universe in physics, chemistry, biology, in a way as if they are actually explaining what is happening. So, but in reality, they are only describing what is happening. They cannot explain it because that quality cannot be reduced to the material component and cannot be attributed to them because it's qualitatively different. It has almost nothing to do with that. So the example of water versus hydrogen and oxygen versus atoms and electron and proton, whatever, and every layers of creation. So you see new qualities, and those new quality has nothing to do with its material component. So that is the believer's conclusion. And therefore, as a believer with the mind and reason, when you reflect on the creation, like a person who look and read an elegant book and conclude with absolute certainty there must be an author, and the author must be different than the book and ink and paper itself. That's believers look at the book of universe and see the qualities, the meaning, the wisdom, the order, the beauty, the symmetry, the perfection, the purpose manifested in them, and say there must be an author, and the author must be different than the book of universe itself. And I think that is, that's my understanding for this week's one. And inshallah, next week, and we will give a very concrete example of a water. I think that I love this water because water is created from the simplest elements. It's one of the most amazing one. The most complex things is created from a water, and the water is created from the simplest element. And to look at this, to see how we can read the water in an indicative, in terms of indicative meaning, I think it will be very clear, inshallah, and further give us a better understanding of what we cover this week.
Now, thank you. Those who you remind me something that interesting. Those who don't insist that I don't believe in God, yeah, that guy tried to cut off the relationship between the universe and God. He said God is dead. It means, God is not going to function on me. I am going to declare my independence here. Okay, what did they say? Especially Camus. It's very, very sorry for him. I am sorry for him. He says, we know that life has no meaning since there is death. So we have to know it. But if you ask me, he argues himself. He says, why do I not commit that meaningless life? Why do I keep living? He says, we have to make meaninglessness the meaning of our life. I have to live in this world knowing that it is meaningless. There is no meaning. Meaningless is the meaning of life. Look at the logic of materialist mind.
A very meaningful statement, mashallah.
Very human, huh? Are you happy? Now, they say, over they know, for example, there is death. There is death. They know death. Now they say, no, death is not important, but living with the knowledge that I am going to die is the problem. Now we have to be careful. After I die, I disappear anyways. Even if you believe in this way, how can you live in this way? You are going to die. Pointless. And philosophy finished. Made meaninglessness the meaning of life. These are the great signs. What the Quran says, hell is prepared for these people. Knowing this, but obstinately denying it. I don't think in the street ordinary people, these are, I don't know, God knows it. But definitely these people deserve hell because they know it. They know better than you and me that God exists. They are very, very smart people. But they are obstinate not to accept the power over them. Okay, if someone is happy with his own pain, let him live with his pain. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم وآخر دعوانا إن الحمد لله رب العالمين بحرمة سر سورة الفاتحة.
Thank you very much, and see you everyone next week, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
عليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.